Hello, Tony here. I'm going to talk about Excel Alaska's material and fiscal budget and our assets and how we plan to improve each year. First off, the budget is determined when we write grants. So everything is taken into account from personnel, payroll, salaries, benefits, all the contractual work that we do with our business partners, which includes grant reporting and evaluation, contracted labor for our CT instructors, maintenance, session meals, lodging, vehicles, gas, van rentals, student and staff travel, equipment, which includes laptops, printers, software, hardware, classroom supplies, and office supplies. So that's kind of an overview of everything that's taken into account when Excel Alaska writes a grant, because we want to be able to provide as many opportunities for students as possible. So once the budget is compiled and meets the goals of the grant, then we put together a budget to be approved. Excel Alaska's board and stakeholders really don't have much say on what happens in the budget because it's all written into the grant. And as long as we are meeting our grant goals and objectives, then the board sees us as being successful. Staffing is determined by the grants as well. Again, that's all written in there. The staff positions that we have within Excel Alaska are in a couple of different tiers. So we have certified administrators. We also have certified teachers. And then we have classified staff and temporary staff. So all of the sessions that are worked, we kind of track, and we have a per session cost based on everything from payroll to what it costs to rent the facility, what it costs to drive to and from different activities, and all that kind of goes into the budget. And it kind of also differs on the length of the session. Additionally, when we write for the grants, Excel Alaska's directors wrote in for 3% inflation per year. So each year, the grant awarded increases due to inflation, which is nice because that allows us to grow in a more positive frame. In addition, that allows us to be flexible with some monies so that we can build a sustainable budget. All the supplies and equipment are written in line items for the grant. That allows us to build our assets each year. So, for instance, we were able to order new computers this last year to replace some of the ones that were struggling to work or broke due to student use. And that kind of allows us to be more flexible with our budget. The supply budget was also equated using a 3% inflation rate. So that allows us to buy the same material even if the price increases. Supplies for equipment, such as vans or vehicles, are also purchased through the grant because it has to allow for us to travel around with our students. So we have a large travel budget, of course, because we're flying students all across the state. And we break it down to where the district partners pay for 75% of the travel, and we pay for 25% of the travel. And when they're with us, then everything is covered. Again, all that stuff equates to the 3% inflation rate as well. So when requesting funds for the sessions, Krista and I, we go to our directors with a per diem request, which allows us to have some activity money for the students throughout the session so that we can go on the nightly leisure activities. When we receive this money, we have to follow all policies and procedures, and we also make sure that receipts are collected for each transaction. And that's a requirement. So if any staff receives any money for any of the activities, then when they come back, they have to turn in the receipts and the change. Excel Alaska's goals are to increase instruction in students and fund a facility of its own. We are working diligently towards this goal and have continued to persevere through difficult times. As you know, from the earthquake, we've had to kind of relocate. We are looking to be on APU's campus, which is a whole new playing field for us because it's going to be a little bit more expensive than our current situation. So we have to make sure that that's added into the budget as well. Also, right now, Excel Alaska's budget is about 90% grant funded, so that doesn't really allow us for much flexibility. And so we look for different funding opportunities. We have built a website that allows us to solicit for sponsors, and we look for them to kind of help us reach some of our goals. That also allows us to be more flexible. So with 90% restricted funds, we only have about 10% of unrestricted funds, and we want to kind of level the playing field there and kind of make it 60-40. So some improvements in the future would be trying to create more diversified funds, and to do that we have to continue to meet our grant goals, so that the Native corporations and our business partners see our success. And if they see our success, then that will allow us to profit from funders in a bigger way. And so hopefully within the next 5 years, we can kind of level the playing field there and have it be kind of a 60-40 rather than a 90-10 on restricted versus unrestricted funds. Unrestricted funds allow us to be more flexible with what we can do with students, and that's a reason why we've flourished, is because we've been able to do some pretty cool things with students. But that's all written into grants. I think the sky's the limit when you can add unrestricted funds in there, because then that allows us to improve the quality of what we teach, because we have more resources, so to speak. So to sum it up, Excel Alaska is growing, and we have a large pool of money that we can work with, but we also have to be frugal. We're dealing with staff burnout, so we have to figure out how to kind of level that playing field as well. So I think we're moving in the right direction, and we can only hope to go up from here. Thank you.